it's me again. So last time I got the shadow map rendered here as a texture, and it looks pretty good. So my goal for this time is to actually use that to make shadows appear on in the game world. Okay, so before I get into that though, I'm going to adjust this shadow map camera slightly. I'm gonna just basically broaden the field of view, just so you see more of the world. And probably move it up a little bit as well. Put it, well, let me keep it at 10 for now, and then let me see what that looks like. So if I run that, then that's not correct at all. It should definitely not be upside down. Oh, you know what? I'm treating this as degrees, but here the calculation should be done in radians, so I need to convert that. So, oh man, I gotta figure out the math now. So I gotta multiply it by 2 pi. No. Hold on, I forgot. Cross multiplication and divide, right? So if I have, so x over 360 equals y over 2 pi. And so cross multiply, then I get 2 pi x equals y times 360. And I'm trying to solve for y, right? So I divide. So I say y is equal to 2 pi x divided by 360. Okay. So field of view equals tau times field of view divided by 360. Right? I hope that's right. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, so now I get more of the world in shadow view, and realistically, this is supposed to be like a sun shadow, so I should be using a orthographic projection here, but I want to get it working with the perspective projection first, because I think getting it working with the orthographic projection would be easier. Anyway, so yeah, now that that's working, I can see more of the world. So now I just need to modify my textured mesh renderer. So I need another matrix here for the shadows position, or the shadows view, I guess. I'll call it shadow matrix. And I think that's it. Oh, and I need another texture. So let me look at this. So I need to put that here. Float 4x4 shadow matrix. And then pixel input. You know what? I've been doing this. I've been having two separate structs, but they're the exact same thing. And I believe all I really have to do is change pixel input to be vertex output. I think that's it. Yeah, cool. So that's fine. Okay, so yeah, I'm adding that to there. And what else? Oh yes, and then I need to also take in another texture. So it'll be at register 1, and this will be my actual shadow map. So then to calculate, oh, I need another position. So I need this float for, I'll call this like shadow position. I don't know, it's not really right. Whatever. Position. I'll call it shadow pause. I'll just call it shadow pause. I'll just call this shadow pause too, whatever. Alright, so now the shadow pause is equal to the same thing. Just instead of the camera matrix, I'm using the shadow matrix. And I really don't need to be doing this calculation so much, but it's okay. I'm going to clean all this up later. I've been saying that for a long time now. Okay, so I think that's it. Still runs without issue. Alright, so render textured mesh buffer. So here is where I need to also set up that. Oh yeah, well, I need to do two things. I need to set up the textured mesh renderer dot vertex constants dot shadow matrix, and that's just equal to the shadow map generators dot vertex constants dot camera matrix. Alright, and everything I do for the single instance, I gotta render for them, or do the same thing for the multiple instance thing here. And oh, I also need to set that texture, so I guess I can do that here. So I'll say D3D11 context update, oh no, PS set shader resources. Alright, so 0, 1, and then the shadow map generator dot shadow resource view. I think that's it. Wait, I put that in the wrong spot. This, well, I guess that should stay there too, but it should also go here. Which, render textured mesh. I don't think I need this function anymore at all, to be honest. I'm gonna just leave it. Alright. Cannot convert from, oh, I think I need the address of that. There we go, and it still runs. Okay. Feel like I'm almost there. In the textured mesh shader, so I'm given the shadow position, and I have access to that texture here. So that's the color. So really what I need to do is I need to check this shadow position against the shadow map here. Well, I need to get the point out of that. So let me do that. Float shadow shadow map depth. And that's equal to shadow map dot sample. And I'll put the regular text sampler, and so the coordinates are gonna be tricky. I think I have to consult the docs here. Let me go back to that tutorial, and let me see, shadow mapping. I'm gonna bookmark it. D3D11 shadow mapping. Here we go. Render the scene with depth testing. That's what I need right here. What do we got? So this is the pixel shader. Oh no, this is the vertex shader. And it's transform the vertex normal pass through. Transform the vertex position into projected space. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm doing already. And then test whether the position is in the light frustum. Here we go. So I make it float 2, and then I gotta do this little thing here. Divide that by that. That's good. Alright, I don't like if statements in my shaders, but we'll see about. Alright, so I make a float 2 of shadow text chords, and then the X position is, so looks like it's between -1 and 1, but I'm setting it to, no. I'm dividing it by 2, adding half. Oh, okay, so it's between -1 and 1. I'm offsetting it to between 0 and 1. But this should be shadow pause, as well as U. Shadow pause. Shadow pause, shadow pause. Alright, and so then the lighting is 1. Hold up. Lighting. Okay, I think I have enough to go off of from here. So lighting is 1. I don't think I need that. So if saturate, and I think that's just like a clamp, right, between 0 and 1. So pixel depth is, okay, so basically if all this is true, that means I can go ahead and do the depth test. Else, so if that's not true, we just want to return as if there's no shadow at all. Whoops, what are you doing? Alright, but then if that's the case, then we know we can use shadow text chords safely to get a pixel on the depth map, the shadow map, whatever it's called. And then I want to check which one is lower or less lower, yeah. So if pixel depth is less than or equal to the shadow depth, I don't feel like, okay, so hold on, if this is not the case, then I want it to be in dark, which is just for, well, I don't know, what I'm going to do is just use the ambient. I'm not going to put any diffuse lighting. And then else return regular lighting. So I don't know, this is a sloppy, ugly code, but I just want to see. I don't know if that's going to do anything at all. Gives me errors, that's something. Implicit truncation of vector type. Oh, I know why. I think. Yeah, go away, stop it. Yeah, because this returns a float 4, so I just only need the red component for that. Hey, there we kinda go. I got something. Shadow depth is the texture, right? Do I have this backwards? The heck? And now nothing. Alright, so let me think about this again. So if the shadow depth, wait, shadow depth's the thing from the bitmap, the texture. Pixel depth is what the light would see from that angle, from our, yeah. And then so if the actual pixel depth Yeah, if the pixel depth. Oh no, I had it right the first time. Yeah, so but then everything's in shadow. Why would that be? All right. All right, let me think about this again. So we got the shadow chords. Yeah, so we gotta divide the x by the w, we gotta divide the y by the w, get the within range. I guess we don't have to do that for z, according to Win32 docs, and then we saturate it, clamp it between 0 and 1, check to make sure that it's within the bounds, and then if the pixel depth is greater than 0, so that means it's in front of the camera, and so if the pixel depth is greater than 0, but if that pixel depth is greater than the shadow map depth, then we want to return. Oh no, I can't think. Pixel depth is what the actual thing is. Yeah, so if it's greater, then we want less than to be lit. So that's right. It should be right. I don't know why it's not right. So everything is getting, so this is always being true then, basically. So pixel depth is always greater than shadow map depth. Oh, you know what? I think I'm binding the texture to the wrong slot. Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure, but one of these needs to change. Really? Start slot, number of views. Yeah, so the start slot should be 1. There we go. Render texture mesh. Oh, gee, I keep doing that. I'm gonna move this one here, potentially to be deleted someday. And see, render texture mesh instance buffer. That should be 1, and when I run it now, what do I see? Ooh, that looks like a improvement. I get shadows now. It's just everything else looks, I don't want to say ugly. It's got its own unique beauty to it, but it just has like this staticky TV aesthetic, I guess. But yeah, that's the hard part's done. I think I got the shadows going. So let's try to clean this up, and I think I know why. It's like typical shadow acne, as they say. I just have to put some kind of offset, but calculating that offset is going to be tricky. So essentially, I just want to. So if I say the pixel depth is greater than the shadow map, render a shadow, otherwise render light. Let me think about this. So if the shadow map depth needs to be slightly lowered, or pixel depth needs to be slightly raised. Okay, so that's maybe the opposite of what I want to do. Or is that the opposite of what I want to do? It's right there. It's just about perfect. So I really don't. I need to offset it like a tiny, 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 tiny amount. So okay. So if the pixel depth, I think I want to raise the pixel depth. No, no, no. That's upside. I want to lower the pixel depth or raise the shadow map depth. I'm gonna do that. I don't know. This just seems to fit right in my head better. So plus 0.0005. Oh, there we go. It's not quite right. Let me, what if I did 0.1? That's better. Okay, so I just got to find the right offset. And it's better, yeah, but still far from perfect. And the shadows, terribly pixelated, but that's perfectly fine for now. I just wanted to get kind of like a proof of concept. And yeah, so the further I get from the light, the more distorted the shadows get, which is to be expected from a perspective view, but I just wanted to get that working first because then I think doing a light map with an orthographic view would be a lot easier. So yeah, cool. I'm really excited that I got that working. I thought that was going to take a lot more work. I just kind of want to mess with these numbers a little bit more and see if there's anything else I can do to kind of improve the quality. No, that made it worse. Oh, that just didn't need to disappear. Well, that's fine. That's, I guess, good enough for now. Yeah, so cool. I mean, that's kind of all I want to get done right now. I know it's got a million other things I can do to it to improve it, but I really just wanted to kind of get that out, like just kind of proof of ability kind of thing. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take that off the feature list because it's technically got feature. It's featured now. I'm gonna put it back down into bug fix, improve shadow mapping, maybe optimization, improve shadow generation and rendering. Alright, yeah, it's going to be pretty short today. I just wanted to knock that out and just kind of get that working. So next time, so what I want to do, I just want to get the mouse picking done. I want to be able to select things and move things around with the mouse. Like for example, like if I wanted to move like this over here, I can just grab it and move it without having to jump into the code and adjust all the numbers and stuff. So I'm going to focus on that next, get that working at the most minimal level, and then I'm probably going to go through and do like a huge cleanup and optimization pass just to kind of get things more in a workable state because it's like kind of just in a prototype state right now. So once it's in a workable state, then I'm going to probably focus on making a better GUI system, like so I can map buttons, maybe checkboxes, I don't know, maybe text fields, just to make it so that I have some kind of editor, some kind of game editor, and then once that is down, then I'm off and running. The rest of it will be more fun, I think, more game design and not engine development. So although this is fun, it's just also frustrating. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and save that. Git add everything. Whoops, that was not the right thing. Git commit very basic shadows being rendered. Git push, and while that's saving, yep, it's saving. I'm going to sign out. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next time.